Craig, great to have your company, and I'm going to start by asking you, what does it feel like to be here at Strathearn in amongst Raith Rovers fans again?
It's absolutely magic to be invited, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the day. Flew up today and watched the game. Two old clubs, 6.5 years I spent at Forfar, and then two great years at the Rovers, and it's great to be remembered.
What's it like to be in amongst Raith Rovers fans? You've got all their recollections and any memories that stand out of your time playing in the dark blue?
A lot of memories, fantastic memories. I've got so many, but the two goals to clinch winning the title, to go to the Premier League was a bit special. A few goals were special, but one sticks out in my mind, the volley against Morton down at Capello when Jimmy Nicks played me in, and I've just hit a right foot strike from the edge of the box that was sweet. But every goal as a striker, everybody will tell you, they're all sweet.
But you didn't come to Raith Rovers as a striker?
I didn't, no. I was always a midfield player, silky soccer midfield player, but I loved scoring goals and getting forward, and defensive duties weren't my best. And Jimmy Nicholl, maybe after 3 or 4 months, seen something in me that he pushed me to striker and never looked back.
Your name is kind of always barreled together with Gordon Dalziel as one of the greatest strike partnerships that we've ever had, and guys like me are lucky to have seen you play together. Tell us about that double act.
Yeah, it was telepathic at times. The season we went up, he scored 33 goals. I think there were 33 of my rebounds. But he hates me saying that. But I enjoyed telling him that. No, we had a real prolific partnership. I think only McCoist and Haitley bettered it, albeit it was in a different league. But yeah, Daz knew where the goal was.
Was that because you had different styles about you, or was it just an understanding each other's game?
Yeah, very much a combination, each other's different strengths. He was very much a penalty box player, where I enjoyed linking up as well as scoring goals. So yeah, definitely worked well. But you know, as a team, we had a great team at that time. You know, we had strengths from all areas. People that could head it, kick it, you know, stop goals, and people that could create goals. So we got great service.
And last kind of question about your partnership with DL. Do you think that he benefited from your presence in terms of bringing him out your shell a wee bit?
He was never the shyest. I don't think, or anybody will tell you, yeah, he's an absolute character. I spoke to him earlier today on the phone, so there was a bit of banter there, so I'm sure there'll be plenty later on.
What about some of the other names in the dressing room? You mentioned Jimmy Nicholl there, who's always most fondly remembered as a manager, but he's quite a player, Jimmy.
Jimmy was an outstanding player. Manchester United, Rangers. When he signed me, there was something about him that, you know, his enthusiasm, and he was a player manager at the time when I signed. So his work rate in training, day in, day out, and I went, wow, if he does that, I better get the finger out and make my work rate a bit better, and that's what I did.
What about the other characters in the dressing room as well as players on the park? You had some really big names in Raith Rovers history around about you there, the Davy Sinclairs, the Rory Coyles, the Sean Dennises, yeah, and so on. What do you remember these guys?
Well, they were all friends, great friends. When I was at the Rovers for the 2 summers, I organised 16 players to go to Spain twice, and every other weekend we were out together. The wives weren't too pleased of some of the boys, but the camaraderie we had was unbelievable.
Was it one of these trips that Davy Sinclair famously brought the wrong currency?
That might have been one of them. Oh, there was plenty. And I remember we played at Clydebank last game of the season, and Jimmy Nick had a wad. So we were flying out early the next morning. We lost at Clydebank, and we had an amazing run. And that was the end of the first season. I was there 91, 92, and lost the last game. So we had an unbelievable run of games where we just kept winning, and because we lost that last game of the season, Jimmy Nick never gave us the money. So all the boys were phoning Jimmy from 8 o'clock that night to say, this is a wind-up, come on, give us some money to go. Because a lot of players had banked on that money to help them for spending money right throughout the night, and he just blanked all our calls. Never ever received that.
Normally I ask players to pick their favourite games, but I'm going to be a wee bit self-indulgent and mention two of my favourites and wonder what your recollections are. One was League Cup victory against Motherwell, and the other is rather infamous and glorious 7-0 victory over St Mirren. What do you remember of these games?
I remember the Motherwell game. Davy Cooper played that night, and we know how good a player he was. And Motherwell were riding high at in the Premier League at the time, and we had a guy called Marty Nelson that night who was a bit special as well. Unbelievable ball player, and I think he scored 1 or 2 goals, and it was a fantastic evening of entertainment down at Starks Park where we won.
I think Motherwell were actually cup holders at that time, but Martin Nelson, he scored one goal in particular that folklore means that every 5 years it moves back 5 yards. It certainly must have been 30 yards, but I think if you ask a Rovers fan, probably it's now about the Beveridge Park that he hit the ball. Can you remember that goal?
Vaguely remember it, but he was a class act, wee Marty. Unbelievable talent.
What about the St Mirren game?
The St Mirren game, first game of the season, at home against a team that had just been relegated from the Premier League. It was a beautiful day. I remember at Starks Park. We had a great pre-season, and we gave them 7 that day. And obviously my great friend Ronnie Coyle, who's sadly no longer with us, scored a great goal. I always told him that it was my pass that he gave me a 1-2, that it was my pass that set him up, you know. So I always remembered that. But yeah, what a day that was for the club, and that just set us up nicely, gave us real confidence, and we went from strength to strength that year.
When you start the season at home with a 7-0 victory against a team who just came down and who contain a European Cup winner, with Paul Lambert in amongst the squad, Saturdays don't really get better than that, do they?
No, they don't. No, they don't. But we had a manager, Jimmy Nick, who drove us, and that was his goal, you know, to win the league, and we did it by, I think it was 11 clear points when it was the old 2 points for a victory. So it was a special season.
There was a lot of to and fro in the summer ultimately, and you moved to Dundee United. Was there ever a chance that you were going to stay with Raith Rovers and go that next part of the journey with us?
Well, I had an amazing time. It was probably the happiest time in my career, these 2 years at the Rovers, and it got to the point where my contract was up, and Hearts had come in for me, and they were scared to go to a tribunal. And then my old club, Dundee United, well, I spent about 7 years at Dundee United as a kid, and they freed me because I was never fast enough, and then they were prepared to pay 250 grand 9 years later. I was certainly swaying what the best decision, and if you look back, when I did sign for Dundee United, I played the first game of the season at wide left midfield, and then I never played for about another 8 games or so. And never forget one game I was at playing at home against Celtic reserves, and Raith were at Dens across the road, and I could hear the noise, and it was one of the only times in football where I wished I was somewhere else. And after that I thought to myself, I need to get the finger out and get back in the team, and the rest is history, as I say.
Any stories for that dressing room that you can tell us?
Just it was a lot of years ago now, but just great memories, great friendships, and a couple of guys that will never be forgotten. And
a message for the Raith Rovers fans as they continue in this lifelong journey that we have supporting the team in Dark Blue?
Well, you give the club fabulous support, and that's all you can do. Continue to do that. It's so difficult nowadays trying to strive, and because everybody wants to gain promotion and win things, but you've got a manager in position, John McGlynn, who's been it, seen it, and done it. So you're in good hands, and just keep supporting the club.
We'll let you get away and enjoy your evening. Thanks very much, Craig.
Pleasure.